guys, welcome back to the shop. Today we're chilling in the woodshed, but we're not going to be doing any woodwork. Today we'll be playing with RC cars. So this guy right here is my WPL, I believe it's the C24 model. Basically a Toyota Tacoma or Hilux based RC. It's cheap and Chinesium, but with a lot of good parts, you can make these pretty good, like light-duty hobby grade RC cars. I had this one for a little while. I've upgraded pretty much everything on it. So from the start, did a new motor with 2-speed transmission, upgraded links, upgraded drive shaft, upgraded axles, because all of that is plastic when you buy it out of the box. I did buy it as a kit, which came with the motor and transmission, and an upgrade kit with metal gears. So all the gears on this guy are either brass or some sort of pot metal. There has been a couple issues with some of the with some compatibility, because there's a lot of Chinese companies making parts for this thing and they don't always play well together. Big thing is these links right here that I got. They're basically basic little rod ends and metal links. They don't clear the servo for the transmission, so I had to bend them out of the way. So as a result, my pinion angle is utter crap. The pinion angle coming out of the transmission is like this, and then it's like sticks out and down. So not the best, but it does pretty good. I did also burn up the original steering servo. I stripped that out. So I got one with all metal gears inside. So that's pretty good. Also switched out to these shocks, which do have oil in them. Those are oil-filled shocks. They don't really seem to be doing any damping, but allegedly there's oil in there. And then upgraded bumper. And bigger tires. But, anywho, while this is a fun little toy, I've had some limitations with the body on it, and just recently went on Amazon, and in my feed they showed me something that I thought, I really need to get that. And that is this. So, in this box is, I already opened it a little bit, but I didn't unpack it. This is a complete tube chassis Jeep that will accept all of those parts, allegedly. So it's got the points for the motor mounts, to mount the motor and whatnot. We've got holes for our linkage, shock mounts right here, shock mounts back there. Presumably I'll be able to mount a steering servo somewhere in there, hopefully without too much modification. I think it shows this with a direct mount servo on the axle, so kind of like full hydro steering in the real world instead of having a link. But anywho, I think it's time to cut into this, do a full little unboxing, and see what we're doing. First off, if this was a real tube chassis, this would have been definitely someone putting this together in their backyard and kind of eyeballing everything, because I am looking at this and those triangles are not symmetric. This one's much bigger than this one, so something's wrong there. First thing I also noticed is this little brace, little cross member here, is not parallel with this windshield bar. So it's kind of got a gap like this. And actually, yeah, that whole thing looks pretty twisted. So I'm not very impressed. This guy I think was like 60, 70 bucks, somewhere around there. Which For perspective, I think the starting kit for the actual truck itself, mind you with all plastic gears, I think that cost about 50 bucks. So this costs more money and is a lot more crooked. But that's mostly aesthetics. Frame rails are pretty straight and everything should bolt up fine. So I think it'll be time to do that. So first, let's actually get into these extra bits, because I remember it coming with some things. So, we've got a link right here. I don't know where this goes, but my assumption is that this is for the front link and the steering servo goes in there, and that's what will let us do a direct inline steering, because this is mounts for the whatchamacallits, not where the axle mounts, and then those are our pickup points for our triangulated forelink. We have a little 4-way multi-tool hex. We've got the hood with some protective film. I'll keep that aside. There's also some hinges in there, so hood should lift up. That'll be nice for serviceability, because as it stands right now with the standard WPL, to get into anything I need to basically pull the cab off. So that's nice. I don't exactly know how this is going to latch down here, if there's any tabs, because I just see some hinges and some screws, but we'll cross that when we get to it. Also have some body panels. I think these are basically door panels. Yeah. So those are already nice and protected. Some thin little, feels like steel, but could be something else. I don't know if I have a magnet around here, but I'll check that. But yeah, so that'll bolt in like so. Fill that. This will bend in, this will bend down, and we'll have a cool little tube buggy. So yeah, it'll be sized enough for one of those big Technic Lego men, I think. But either way, we've got that broken into. Let's start disassembling the Toyota. Alrighty then. So first I'm going to do is probably pull the wheels off, because they're definitely going to be in the way. Memory serves, all I have to do is remove these two screws, and then I can hinge the cab off of the body. Got my first screw down into the belly of the beast, and the second one. There we go. Both of those. And cab comes off. Put that aside. There's my lovely electronics. Should probably unplug my battery. Can't tell you guys enough how many times I've had this thing apart and back together. Just kind of the nature of the beast whenever you're playing with these things. That is the plug for the motor. I think. Oh, no. I think this is probably as detangled as I need to make it for now. I say that as I continue to detangle. And then here is my tiny Allen wrench. So, going to loosen the little set screw there. Pull that off. Loosen the little set screw there. Oh, too far. I don't want to remove it, that would be bad. And then I can, it's loose enough for when it's time. I guess I probably do need to hinge the, take the bed off as well. Just hinge that up enough. And now, where is that tool? Because that cute little socket is going to come in handy. How blind am I? Where did I leave it? Yes, that fits. Okay, I guess I'm going to pull the motor out first. Because that is in the way. Motor comes out. I've got its servo attached, but we're just going to transplant that whole thing to the Jeep. So I'm just going to get that out of the frame rail. Now I can reach through with my screwdriver and get these guys off. Anywho, you guys probably don't need to see the rest of this. It's just unbolt some stuff. So I'm going to just turn the cameras off and we'll check back in a bit. Alright. Ended up being the next day. As you'll notice, the arms are different. Got a little ahead of myself and switched over the bracket from that came in the kit, and I've mounted my servo up on that. So now I've got fully independent steering that's not on a steering box, so a little less authentic to a real truck, but still good with a buggy, and should give me more consistent steering overall. So did that. I just got to basically swap over all these links. Really not too big of a deal, but we'll do that. And then I think while I'm at it, I'm actually going to switch the orientation of the shocks, because I think I've got clearance for it now, and before, how it used to be, the tire was rubbing on the body, and that was causing some issues. So we'll switch that over, and then we'll mount both of these to the chassis. Mount those right there, and there, lower links down there, and then same for the front. Yeah. And if you get width on these, if I'm lucky, I'm actually going to try to place the links in such a way that they're on the inside, and I think I've got just enough room to keep the motor out of the way, so I'm going to do that. But I'm going to finagle with that. But it's super fiddly, so I might turn the cameras off and get a little more elbow room, just to make life a little easier. Yeah. So I'm gonna, attach these guys onto here, and hopefully when I turn the camera back on, I will have an assembled little RC car. All right, it is assembled. Got the linkage done. I'm not too happy about the front, but a lot of that has to do with the motor position. I have the motor shoved pretty far back. Main reason is I was able to just barely, if you can see in there, sneak the actuator arm for the the servo and the little arm, little rod in line in there, so that I can actually shift without it fouling. It just barely doesn't touch, but that's good enough. So as a result, this guy is slid really far to the back, so I had to use kind of the rearmost mount holes for the front axle, and I've got really bad caster angle. Fortunately, this isn't a car that's a car, so that doesn't matter all that much. RC cars do weird things. It is together. I just reconnected the same things. Channel 1 is our steering. Channel 2 is our drive. 3 is the remote switch. And then I've got an extra bit for lighting. I probably won't switch the lights over from the other shell. But I do have this mess, and I can't really drive it like that. So what I'm going to do is rearrange some stuff, and we're going to zip tie the battery to the back, and then the rest of the bits are going to go on this front little cross member here, and hopefully I'll be able to put the hood on. So, got some zip ties. What I'm going to do is probably do one zip tie to just get the battery to that front, like, harness bar looking guy. And then I'm going to run another couple across both, whatchamacallits, across both of the bars. And that hopefully shouldn't get in the way of the tires. Cool! One little RC car. Now, time to stick the wheels on and see how she rolls. It's been working fine. Waiting. Perfect. Alright. So now we have is that still doing an issue? It is still doing an issue. Maybe they were the front. Anywho, there we go. One little RC car. Let's turn her on and see how it works. Well, did I... Oh. The thing I was fearing while I was getting in here. I broke the wire that goes to the motor. So if I connect that, it works. Alright, well, got it soldered up, and there it is. That's just a little chain I had from before. So, a couple issues. I think I had already mentioned, but I've got that motor shoved pretty far back to accommodate the shift linkage. So I've got some issues as far as front axle placement. My drive shaft is a little extended, and as a result I've got really bad negative caster, so that makes it handle just a little weird. Overall, I am pretty happy with it. Got the body panels on, as you can see. The hood sort of didn't quite line up. I think we're supposed to have the hinges flipped up this way, but if I did that and I laid the hood on top of here, those holes didn't line up. So I've got the hood flipped around. It doesn't fully close, and I don't actually have a way of keeping it closed. So I'll probably make some sort of latch to keep that down. But when you're just kind of playing with it, it mostly stays down. I've got the battery zip tied to the back. That's in pretty securely. And I did end up resoldering that negative lead on the motor. So it works. I've got both my speeds. I've got steering. I've got, forward and back. And it goes pretty good. When I get the better upgraded axles, it'll definitely do a lot better. But for now, it definitely, I'm in crawl mode right now. But got the steering, it's pretty good. I can shift my gears. So it's it's a lot of fun. One big thing I am going to do is reposition those links probably a little bit more inboard, because what's going on is I actually run out of room and the tire scrubs the link. So I've got the trim adjusted so that I can't go too far, so I can't bind up against that. So turning circles pretty terrible, but it crawls. So actually, we'll see if it'll crawl on its old carcass. Oh boy. So yeah, plenty of fun. Currently it's a little snowy outside, so I can't really, actually play with it outside. But I've got various, wooden blocks and things to mess with or push off the table. But yeah, so I think that thing wraps things up for now. Yeah, so I guess we'll see you next time. All right, that's all for now. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.